Which lesson? Any idea? Should mommy. And this is from the book Vistas, right? The same book that we have been doing fine. Yeah, the enemy lesson we have completed. And now from today, we'll be starting the lesson. Should the wizard hit mommy, from the same book, that is Vistas, lesson number 5 by the author John Updike. What is the lesson? Why this lesson is given the title, Should Wizard Hit Mommy? Oh my God, today I can see Rajan also, nice. So now, okay. So should wizard hit mommy? Now in this lesson, why the lesson is given this title? Should the wizard hit mommy? Wizard means a magician who says like abracadabra, gilly gilly choo, and the magic starts. You know, something happens all of a sudden. So there is a wizard in this story. Fine, a wizard is there, and as the title is, you know, interrogative form, you can see, should wizard hit mommy, and there is a question mark, interrogative. This is a question raised by the character from this lesson. The important characters in this lesson are the father and the daughter. Fine, the father name is John and his daughter is there. The name of the daughter is Joe. So the this is a, you know, a custom, you can say, like from the past many years, like from the child has started understanding the things. It is the custom that the father had to narrate her a story on every Saturday. The father thinks that the child would sleep when she would listen to the story. This is the target, you know. The target of the father is like while narrating the story, the father thought that the child would go to sleep, but it is not happening. The child is very smart, you know, very inquisitive, very much curious, always asking like why this happened. When the father is narrating the story, this baby girl is always asking the question like, if this happened, then why this happened? If that happened, then why that happened? So she's always asking the question, and she is not sleeping throughout the night. She is, you know, awake. The father wanted to you know, spend some quality time with the mother also, but that is not happening as the child is not sleeping. So the father is not able to have some time to sit with the mother also. So here in this lesson, what we are going to study is like what happens in a simple family, in a middle class family. The child is there, two kids are there, and the parents are there. Find the parents, they are busy in doing their household chores, their responsibilities, and the children are always, you know, after the parents for taking them, asking them to take them out for to the you know, gardens or to the parks, or to tell them the stories during the night. So this is all we are going to study, and you can relate it to yourself. I can relate it to myself, because this happens in each and every family. We are always, you know, like when I was a child, my grandparents used to tell me the story, parents and the grandparents. I'm also doing the same thing to my kids. I have also done. So this is the same thing. Now, here's a story about the world view of a little child. World view, as I told you, this is something universal. You know, it happens in each and every family. It happened with each and every child also. So here's a story about the worldview of a little child and the difficult moral question she raises during the story session with her father. As I told you, she's inquisitive. She's always asking the doubts and the queries, whatever doubts she has while listening to the story. So what are the questions that are raised? They are, you know, moral based questions she's always asking. Sensible questions she's asking. Fine. Now the explanation of the lesson. In the evenings and for Saturday naps like today's, Jack told his daughter Jo a story out of his head. Now, in the evening and for Saturday nap means sleeping. While sleeping on Saturday night, that is the weekend, fine. So on Saturday, the father, he used to get some time, and so the daughter is, because the next day is Sunday, so at least like in the next morning, the father is not in a hurry to move to to his office. So that is why if it is late also during the night on Saturday, so then it will be okay, no problem the next morning. So that is why the daughter is after the father, so that the father would narrate her a story. So on Saturday, like while the child is about to sleep, in the evening, the father is narrating the story. The name of the father is Jack and the daughter's name is Joe. So the father is telling the story out of his head. Now, out of his head means what? Like the father is always, like, for example, from the past 2 years, the father had been editing the story. And, just imagine, like, how many stories the parents would remember. It's not easy. So what they do generally, they also try to make some changes, some slight changes in that particular story which they have been telling from the past 1 or 2 years. So they make some small changes and then they tell the story. So now, like, they are also out of ideas sometimes. So now out of his head means now the father was running short of ideas, like what to say now, because he has already, whatever ideas, whatever knowledge he had shared, he had used all the ideas and narrated the story. But now he is not getting any more idea also. So that is why out of his head. This custom began when she was 2 and was itself now nearly 2 years old, and his head felt empty. Now, this custom began when she was 2. Now, when this child was 2 years old, she started understanding the things. So she used to ask the father to narrate her the story. So now the father, he started telling the story when she was 2, and now it's 2 years old. That means the child, this girl is 4 years old. Is this clear enough? When she was 2 years, the father started telling. Now it's been 2 years. That means 2 plus 2, that is equal to 4 years. So now the father felt empty. Empty means out of ideas. Now he is not having any more idea what to say, how to narrate the story. It's so boring task now. Each new story was a slight variation of a basic tale. Now see, whatever the story the father is telling them, in each and every story, there is a slight variation. Means there is a very slight difference, very minute differences there. And the basic tale means the base idea of the story is always the same. And he makes some changes in the story and tells it to Joe. And now what is the basic story? What is the base that he used to take? And on the basis of that, he narrates the story. What is the basic? So there is a colon that you can see. So the basic story is, there is a small creature, underline this, a small creature usually named Roger. Roger is the name of the protagonist or the hero of the story. So this is the basic story. Roger is the name. Now it could be Roger Fish, it could be Roger Squirrel, it could be Roger Chipmunk. These are all the different creatures, right? But whatever the creature, for example, it's owl, for example, it's rat, bat, tortoise, rabbit, whatsoever the creature is different, but name is same, right? So here in some story, it is Roger Fish, Roger Squirrel, that and Roger Chipmunk. So all these are the creatures which are given the same name, that is Roger. And now has some problem and went with it to the wise old owl. What is the basic story? There is a creature which is always given the name Roger. Now this creature suffers from one or the other problem. It could be any problem, any normal problem. So for finding out the solution to his problem, he moves to the wise old owl. And then what happened? The owl told him to go to the wizard, and the wizard performed a magic spell and then solved the problem. Now what happened? This creature, he is, he suffers from one or the other problem. And to find out the solution to his problem, he moves to the wise, intelligent old owl who is in the forest. And then this old owl directs this creature to the wizard, to the magician, who will be giving this creature a solution to his problem. But for giving the solution, obviously, he will be charging some fees. So what he is doing, demanding in payment a number of pennies greater than the number that the Roger creature had. Now this wizard, he demands money, fine, and the money which the creature did not have. Means the creature is having, for example, 3 pennies, then this wizard would ask for 8 pennies. So he is always asking the pennies more than the number of the pennies the creature is having. And so, but in the same breath, directing the animal to a place where the extra pennies could be found. So this is something, a story that we have heard. So now in the story, what is happening? Something is in imagination. So now see what happened. This creature, now wizard, what happened? Now this creature is not having the money that is demanded by the wizard. So then what happened? This wizard, he directs him to the nearby place. There is a well, W-E-L-L. So he directs him to the nearby well, that you should go to this nearby well, take 3 turns, 4 turns accordingly. And when you would take the turns, you will be able to find out the number of required pennies also. And then bring those pennies and give it to the wizard, and then your problem is solved and your payment is also done. So this is the basic tale. Is this clear to all of you? If I can see your faces and you would have shown me the thumbs up, that would be very good from your side. So I believe that it's clear. This is the basic tale that is there. Fine, I can see the thumbs up raised from some students also, right? Good. So the thing is like, it's clear that this is the basic thing. On this basic story, the whole story revolves around. So now, then Roger was so happy, he played many games with other creatures and went home to his mother just in time to hear the train whistle that brought his daddy home from Boston. Now this child, this baby, that is the creature, the Roger. And then what happened? Like when his problem is sorted out by the wizard, then what happened? After that, he returns back to the forest. Then he played many games with the other different creatures also. And after playing the games, he returns back to his home on the correct time, because it's the time of evening and his father would return from Boston. So he hears the train whistle, and when he hears the train whistle, he is very much sure that it's the time for the father to return from Boston. Immediately rush to home, and then the father is there in the home. So now Jack described their supper. Supper means, many times this word has been discussed, the last meal of the day. So like in the evening when the father, he returns back from Boston, so then what happened? They have their supper and the story is over. And after that, it is the happy ending. So the story is over. Working his way through this scheme was especially fatiguing. Fatigue means what? Extreme tiring, very much tiring, you know. So working his way through this scheme, like for example, you have to understand that the father, like who is working in Boston, so on every weekend, on every Saturday and Sunday, he returns back to his family. Fine. And when he is returning back, he feels that he would be able to spend good time with his kids and his wife also. So like what is happening when he returns back, the child is also excited, waiting for the father. After having their dinner, the child is waiting anxiously for the father to narrate him a story. And like while narrating the story, the father is extremely tired. He feels fatigue. Fine, extremely tired, because throughout the day, like he was busy in his journey through train. And when he reached by the evening after having the dinner, he had to narrate the story. So from the morning till the night, you know, night is, you know, that is reaches to early morning also many times. In this lesson also you'll study. So it's fatiguing on Saturday because Joe never fell asleep in naps anymore. Joe has become so much naughty, you know. This girl is very naughty and very much curious also. She's always asking the questions. So that is why she is not at all sleeping and not letting the father also to spend any time with the mother. So she is not sleeping, and knowing this made the rite seems futile. Rite means R-I-T-E. Rite means what? Rite means this ceremony seems futile. Futile means in vain, V-A-I-N, vain or useless. So this ritual, rite means this ritual of telling the story with the purpose that the child would sleep, it is not, you know, successful. So the child is not sleeping, and the father had to continue telling the story by adding on nonsense ideas many a times in order to befool the child, right? So this is the basic theme. Now let us continue with the explanation. The little girl, not so little anymore, the bumps her feet made under the covers were halfway down the bed. The big double and when she was sick, had at last arranged herself, and from the way her from the way her fat face deep in the pillow shone in the sunlight, sifting through the dawn drawn shades, it did not seem fantastic that some magic would occur and she would take her nap like an infant of two. Her brother Bobby was too, and already asleep with his bottle. Jack asked her, "Who shall the story be about today?" Now, as it is the custom, the father is always narrating the story. So, see, what is the thing? Like the father, before starting the story, he is always asking, like, who should be character? The name is always the same. The name will be Roger, but who is that creature? Like, it should be cat, or it should be rat, it should be bat, it should be like what? So, it is on demand of this girl, Jo. So now the little girl, not so little anymore. Now this girl is not so little means like it's not easy to befool this baby. Now she has turned 4. Earlier when she was, 1.5, 2.5, till that time, the parents could make her, they used to try to befool her that like somebody would come and, you should sleep, otherwise this would happen, that would happen. And the child, she was befooled also and she used to sleep. But now she's not so little. She is smart enough to understand all the tactics. So she's not so little anymore. The bumps her feet made under the covers were halfway down the bed. Babies, they do not cover. During the winters also, it's extreme winter, we are feeling very hot. But the kids, they do not feel cold. So then what happened? They do not want to cover also. They do not want to cover their body with the quilts. They just simply, throw it away from their body. They feel their body temperature is very high as compared to ours. Here is also the same thing. The baby is not covering herself, and their big double bed that they let her be in for naps, and when she was sick, had at last arranged herself, and from the way her fat face deep in the pillow shone in the sunlight. Now this baby girl, she is made to sleep in between the parents during the time when she was sometimes she's sick, or when she's about to sleep. So when she slept, then she is made to sleep in the another room. But while she is in the process of sleeping, the father is narrating the story. She is made to sleep in between the parents. So she is not covering herself, and her face is also, out of this quilt. And from the way her fat face deep in the pillow shone in the sunlight is sifting through the drawn shades. Sifting means like it is coming through the curtains, right? So it is coming through the curtains, her fat face, and in the pillow shown in the sunlight, sifting through the drawn shades. Shades means the curtains which are drawn. So through these curtains, the light that was coming, that was entering into the room, and that light was falling on this baby also. And it did not seem fantastic that some magic would occur, that she would take her nap like an infant of 2. And the father was feeling like some magic should happen and this baby should also sleep. And he did not have to stress himself in narrating the story to this baby. And it is very tiring to tell a story to this inquisitive child, because she is not letting the father to tell any story. No, it's not like that. The father had to be on his toes while narrating the story, because she's may ask a question like, if this happened, why this happened? If that happened, then why did that happen? And she's always asking many questions also. So that is why, it's not an easy thing to narrate the story to this baby. And so the father wanted that some magic should occur and she should sleep like an infant of 2, because her brother Bobby, who was 2 at that time, was already asleep with his bottle. And like in this family, the next character is the baby boy. The name is Bobby, fine, and he was 2 years old and he has already slept with a bottle of milk in his mouth. So now this girl is not sleeping. So Jack asked, like, who shall be the character on this day? Roger. Just squeezed her eyes shut and smiled, to be thinking. She was thinking. And she pretended, oh my God, she is thinking. She used to pretend, behave in such a manner, she's thinking. So when the father asked, like, who shall be character? Who shall be the hero of the story, today's story? So she was pretending as if she is thinking like this and making the gestures. And then she said, skunk, she said firmly. So she said that today's story characters must be skunk. Now, what is skunk? Skunk is a rat, a very big rat, a wild rat, you can say. For example, the mouse is in the house and the rat is in the forest. Fine. A big wild rat is there which gives very foul smell, Fowl, foul smell, or you can say a very bad smell. And that smell is very natural to his body. Why so? Because he is blessed with that smell, so that the other big animals won't attack upon this creature, because it is giving very foul smell. So if the other animals would try to come closer to attack upon this creature, they would simply run away from this creature because of its foul smell. So this foul smell is protecting it against its against the other creatures who would attack upon it. So now a new animal, they must talk about skunks at nursery school. Now the father was thinking, like, why this girl took the name of skunk? It could be possible that this baby girl is 4 years now, and 3.5 and 4 years. That means she's in the nursery class. So in the nursery class, maybe she is taught about this new creature, that is skunk. So that is why from the school she got this name skunk. Having a fresh hero momentarily stirred Jack to creative enthusiasm. Now, when Jack heard this name, skunk, he was also enthusiastic. Oh my God, now today they are going to have a new character, a new name also. So that is why he is also, full of enthusiasm. All right, he said, once upon a time in the deep dark woods, there was a tiny little creature by the name Roger Skunk, and it smelled very bad. And as this used to be the story, so the father started narrating the story. Once upon a time, in every story, there used to be, like, for example, our parents, when they used to tell us the story, it used to be like that. Once upon a time, there was a king, there was a queen, and something happened, and blah, blah, and all that. In the same manner, the father is telling the story that once upon a time, in the deep, dark woods, in class 11th also, I told you, in literature, woods means forest. So in the deep, dark woods, there was a tiny little creature by the name of Roger Skunk. And in a movie, I don't remember the name of the movie, there Amitabh Bachchan is narrating a story. Amitabh Bachchan is narrating a story to a group of kids, and in the same manner he was telling, like, घने जंगलों से गुजरता हुआ मैं कहीं जा रहा था नहीं आ रहा था. So this is also fantastic, in a with the beautiful rhythm and rhyming, this story is narrated to the students in that movie. It's very interesting. So all of a sudden I am reminded of that story by Amitabh Bachchan. So here also he is telling, like, once upon a time in the deep dark woods, there was a tiny little creature by the name Roger Skunk, and he smelled very bad. This is the basic problem. As I told you, that the basic tale is, there is a creature by the name Roger, and he suffers from any problem. For his problem, he moves to the intelligent, wise old owl for the suggestion. This owl directs him towards the wizard, right? So now the problem with this skunk is that he gives a foul smell, right? Now this is clear. He gives a foul smell and he smells so very bad. Yes, Joe said, Joe is happy. Yeah, something new. He smells so bad that none of the other little animals, woodland creatures, would play with him. Now this creature is always giving a very bad smell, so foul smell, that the other little woodland creature, Woodland is a famous brand that of shoes. Woodland is a famous brand of shoes. And here woodland means the forest. In the forest, there were other different creatures also. So now, so bad that none of the other creatures would play with him. Now the other creatures, they used to simply avoid his company. They did not want to play. Like, you are giving a very bad smell, so just stay away from us. We do not want to play with you. Just move away. So Joe looked at him solemnly. Now, Joe, you will find, as the father is narrating the story now, like in every line, when the father is speaking, like if the line is good, then she would, from her expression, she would pass a beautiful smile. if the father is telling the problem of this creature, then she would make the faces also. Her face or her expressions would be quite similar to the line that is narrated by the father. Excuse me. One very important thing that you would understand and start pointing out also, the father is also narrating the story in the same manner as it should be narrated, with high tone, low tone, fine, where he is supposed to exert pressure on his words, where he has to be soft with his words, where he has to loudly speak, where he has to pretend as if he is speaking in the manner of an old wise owl. He had to speak in the manner of a wizard, abracadabra, gilly gilly choo. So all of the, the intonations, these are called as the intonation, right? So he would change the manner, so that why he's changing this manner, why he's speaking in this manner. He is speaking in the manner of a wizard, in the manner of a wise old owl, in the manner of the tiny old creature. So to create, to continue, to keep up the interest of his little daughter. Fine. As I was telling you, if you can, if possible, just listen to the story that is narrated by Amitabh Bachchan. In that story also, घनी जंगलों से गुजरता हुआ कहीं जा रहा था नहीं जा रहा था. That is also interesting, up and down in the intonation. That is, very interesting. In the same manner, he would also maintain the interest of his child. That would be, and that is why, this is also a problem. If you would tell a very boring story, then the child would say that, father, please finish off the story. I would like to sleep. If it is boring, right? But if the father is telling the story in a very interesting manner, so that would maintain the interest of the child also. And the child would say, oh my God, this is interesting. Yeah, continue telling me the story. Continue. And this is the problem also. So the same thing was happening with this kid also. So now the father said, he smelled so bad that the other little creature, they did not want to play with this creature. So Joe looked at him solemnly. Solemnly means seriously. Now this creature, Joe, was very much solemn. Solemn means very serious. It became very serious. Like, why it became so serious? Because now she's also going in school. So when you are going in school, sometimes your friends, they try to shoo you away. Just stay away from me. Please don't disturb me. Sometimes if they have any interest with you, they would say, yeah, Aditya, just tell me now, what do you know this question? Do you know the answer? So they would approach you. And for some reason, they would say, oh, stand away from me. I do not want to talk to you. So this is the problem with and it happens with each and every student also. So sometimes they, hug us. Sometimes they would, want us to stay away. So now Joe was very serious because she was also going to school and she is also able to understand the same problem. So she became very serious. Solemn means serious. She had not foreseen this. And moreover, somehow she was experiencing, because she has just entered in the school, but not experienced so deeply. Fine. So now Joe, whenever he would go out to play, Jack continued with zest. I have told you this phrase many a times earlier. Now I want you all to know the meaning zeal and zest. In the last lesson, previous chapter, that is the enemy, I have told you zeal and zest means full of enthusiasm. So the father is narrating the story with full of enthusiasm so that the child would be happy. Like the father is coming once a week, right? On every Saturday and Sunday. So the father is also thinking that the child is waiting for the father. So that is why, he should give the best, so that for the whole week, the child would be happy that the father has narrated the beautiful story, and she would continue thinking of that story, and her whole week would be happy. So that the father continued the story with enthusiasm, remembering, underline this statement, very important, remembering certain humiliations of his own childhood. If we would be in the classroom, directly you were sitting in front of me, I would not have explained this line to you. I would have definitely asked you people to explain me, like, what is the meaning? So what is happening? Remembering certain humiliations of his own childhood. What is happening? Like, for example, when we were kids, we also experience such things. Sometimes, as I told now, sometimes our friends are very happy when they have some means, when they have some queries, something, some, So, and sometimes they behave as if they don't know. So this is the problem. So remembering certain humiliations means embarrassment of his own childhood. Now here, what is happening? The father is telling the story and is thinking of his own humiliation, like how he was humiliated by his friends for some or the other problem that happened with each and every student in the school, right? Our friends are the best. Our friends, they many a times they pull our legs also. They try to pull our legs. Fine, they are always mocking at upon us. Fine, when we are in the school, because they are also not mature. We are also equally not mature, and sometimes they support us when we are in some or the other problem. That is friendship. So here what happened, like the father is also thinking of his own humiliation, like how he was made to feel embarrassed because of some of the other problem. So now all of the other tiny animals would cry, oh, ho, here comes Roger Stinky Skunk. And so what happened? Now the father, inverted commas, the lines which are in inverted commas, so you can understand as I'm reading that these are the lines spoken by the father. These are the lines spoken by the father. So now all of the other tiny animals would cry, oh, oh, here comes Roger Stinky Skunk. Now, when he used to come into that forest, now the other creatures, they would, shout upon this creature. And they've given a name also, that is Roger Stinky Skunk. They did not call him Roger Skunk. They used to call him, added an adjective. They added an adjective, that is stinky. Stinky means giving a foul smell, giving a very bad smell. So Roger Stinky Skunk, and they would run away. So they have given us a name. So what is the name that is given by these other creature? That is Stinky Skunk. So now they would call this creature as stinky, means giving a very foul smell, bad smell. And they would run away, and Roger Skunk would stand there all alone. Now all the other creatures, they would not pay any attention to this creature. They would laugh upon, mock upon, make this creature feel embarrassed. So that is why he's standing all alone. He thinks like, why the God has made this creature in such a manner. So this creature starts spitting upon itself, and now the other creatures would run away, and the Roger Skunk is standing all alone. And the two little round tears would fall from his eyes. And the father narrates the story that the creatures obviously not having anything else to do. So when it is feeling embarrassed, so starts shedding the tears. This is all the child can do. So it is, starts shedding the tears. Now, when in any story there is something serious, that the seriousness that is there from the side of the creature, in the same manner, Joe also feels the same thing. The expressions came in the same manner. So the corners of Joe's mouth dropped down. When we smile, our face is like this. When we are not smiling serious, it is like this, down. In the same manner, this girl is also this way. So drop down, the lines are dropped down. Why? Because she is also very serious. Like, why this embarrassment this child has to suffer? So that is why her lower lip bent forward as he traced with a forefinger along the side of her nose the course of one of the Roger Skunk's tears. So when she heard that the Roger Skunk is crying, she also felt in the same manner. Her face is, her mouth is dropped down, and she's also feeling the same pain that is felt by this creature. Would he see the owl? She asked in a high, faintly roughened voice. As she knew, the father had been narrating the story from the past 2 years. So she knew, like, as the creature is suffering from the problem, so the creature would go first and meet with the wise old owl. So then she asked, like, won't he see the owl? Now the creature is not going to meet with the owl. She asked in a very high, faintly roughened voice, because it's the time of midnight. So now she is a little bit, she's not little bit, she's highly excited, but her tone was a little faint, a little bit, roughened voice. Sitting on the bed beside her. Okay, we'll not be able to finish this passage because we are running short of, we'll be reaching to